I'm offended. Good. Greetings and welcome to another episode of Is This Going to Be on the Test? My name is Joe Burns and I want to talk about being offended today. So I wore my salmon-colored shirt to sort of calm things down. Some might say pink, I say salmon. I don't know, does that offend you? I am a professor. I teach in the world of university. And yes, I have seen all of the news reports that show up on Fox and CNN and what have you of students at privatized universities very upset. They must have trigger words. There must be safe spaces. There must be a place with puppies. There must be a place for coloring books. And if a person is going to come on campus and he or she offends me, they must be completely disinvited and all that kind of stuff. At my state school, I don't see as much of that, and other professors at other schools that I know have said they don't see a lot of it. They don't at least see it to the level of the thing you see on Fox and CNN and MSNBC and all that kind of stuff. However, it's still there. As a matter of fact, I have apparently offended some people with what I do. And I want to talk about that concept of offended, if you will. I'll tell you my quick story and then I'll tell you why I think offending and that kind of stuff is becoming more and more, is the word prolific? Sure. I was teaching a class and a young lady used a word I had never heard before. And I went, is that even a word? And everybody laughed, ha 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 ha. And I went on with the class, didn't think anything of it. So the next period, she comes back and she's got a dictionary. And she, shows me the word. She goes, look, it is a word. And I said, well, son of a gun, how about that? And then she said, what, you didn't think a woman could know that word? What? Where did that come from? It was the idea of being offended, the microaggressions. I must have meant something of the patriarchy or what have you. But why? Why this seemingly new concept of being offended at the littlest things? You can go on, and I don't believe these, but you can go on and on about, well, they're coddled, they all got a trophy and all that kind of stuff. I don't believe that. I think it's something much more societal. You see, I believe the human being, the human requires something to rail against. I think it's part of us. We need pressure. We need something that angers us, something to cause against. There was World War II. Obviously, we had a common enemy. Must go. There was the war in Vietnam, the war in Korea, something to go against. There was Nixon. There was Watergate. There was just bad. There was 9/11, the terrorists and all that. Well, now here we are in the late 20-somethings, 2018. And I gotta be honest with you, what we've always wanted to do, create this wonderful, peaceful, and I get it. We're still in Afghanistan, but when's the last time it was on the news? But we as parents, and I'm a parent, we wanted to create this thing where the kids have no trouble. They're not having to fight like we did. We want things to be wonderful for them. And for the most part, we've succeeded. And that's a problem. Because what we've created is a group of people that are well taken care of and have nothing to rail against. So they must make things up. And instead of creating a boogeyman outside of, they created us. You said something I don't like. It'd be better if there was somewhere else that this energy could be put, but right now there isn't. And so all these microaggressions make a person feel important. It gives them a cause. And that's where I think it comes from. The idea of there's nothing really to rail against. Things are pretty gosh darn good. And I get it. Trump's in office and all that. But we're not talking a war. We're not talking the destruction of the planet or anything like that. And in fact, the planet would be great if everyone could go towards environmental stuff. But we are self-attacking. And I think that's where it came from. You may disagree with me, but here's the thing. You're in university. And university is supposed to be a place where differing ideas come at you. Different belief systems, different things to think about are coming at you all the time. And some are going to offend you. And you know what I say? Good. Good. You should be offended. You should hear things that are different than your belief system. However, it has somehow flipped that people are starting to believe that if something offends them, they have the right not to hear it. Not true. If they label it correctly, they don't have to hear it. Oh, what you said was hate speech. Do you even know what hate speech is? Oh, it's when you say something racist. No, it's not. Hate speech is racist talk in the commission of a crime. According to the First Amendment, if you want to go stand out in the middle of the street and yell racial epithets, you can. And if you're not inciting a riot or fighting words, you're pretty okay. Look up the First Amendment. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean that you aren't supposed to hear it. And at many campuses, it has gone to the idea of, well, we don't like what this person says, so he or she is not allowed to show up. And we will be violent if, that person comes. And that's so amazingly wrong. Because you're in university and different ideas should come at you. And furthermore, and this is where I'm probably going to offend somebody with this, if you believe that, if you believe that words that you dislike, if you're a religious person and you believe because of your belief system, biology classes should be taught as creationism classes because that's what you want, then here's my theory on you. Your belief system isn't very strong. Your belief system, your faith, isn't very strong. Why? Because it can't take another opinion. I want all opinions gone that I disagree with. I want all microaggressions gone. Why? Are you not strong enough to hear that? You really don't believe that a word that offends you should be around? You know what? If that's the case, your belief system is not strong enough. You're offending me with that. Oh, good. Oh, good. You should be offended. And here's the fun part. Maybe something that you expected to find offensive might register with you, but you won't know until you avail yourself to it. For example, I teach a film history class. It's really popular, fills right up, and students who take it love it. However, in that film history class, I talk about a director by the name of D.W. Griffith, David Wark Griffith. David Wark Griffith was a director back in the 19s, okay? And he created a movie that a lot of people think is the greatest film of that time. They say before this film that movies sort of crawled and walked. But once Griffith got a hold of it, his technical prowess, his technical inventiveness, his way of playing made movies what they are today. The movie's called Birth of a Nation, and it is brutally racist. It is. The whole thing's based on a book called The Klansman, and it's the idea of the Ku Klux Klan succeeding in putting down the people of the South and such, and for the white man and all that kind of stuff. And it is brutally racist. If that offends you, good. But it also means you should watch it. I dedicate an entire class to it. How could you? Because it's real, it's history, and if you don't know your history, you are doomed to repeat it. I say to students, look, if you don't want to come and see this, don't come and see it. I warn them about it. I actually trigger warning them. I do. I have yet to have a student not show up, and that makes me so proud of them. So look, you're in a place where new ideas are supposed to show up. But somebody's coming to campus to speak that I don't like. Good! Go see them. Not to protest, not to throw apples and yell boo, racist, ageist, sexist, homophobe, whatever word you slap on it to make it sound as if it is worse than what it is. Go listen to the person. If you walk out and say, oh, that offended the crap out of me, I just don't like that guy, I'll be so much more proud of you than if you say, I'm not going to go see him. I don't think he's worth my time. If your belief system, if your faith cannot take an opposing viewpoint, your belief system and your faith is not very strong. Welcome to college. I hope you get offended multiple times. Sorry, but that's the way I feel. And that's going to wrap it up. My name is Joe Burns. Hope I offended you during this one. Will this be on the test? Gosh, I hope so.